What is up, Starseeds? It's Sid, and today I wanted to do something a little different for episode 365, just because that's how many days there are in a year. I've been doing YouTube for real darn close to 7 years now, so there's 365 videos. Well, now there was 364, so we're just gonna kind of look back on them. Not necessarily a reaction video, but me sharing how I was feeling when filming and when posting these past videos. Some of these phases of my life, I was going through things. Maybe there's a reason why I filmed a certain video at a certain time. So today I figured I would share that because that would just seem way too overwhelming to do in the future, and I thought it was a cool idea. So let's get into it. My room is currently under construction. Ignore that, but I am taking my bed out because I don't sleep in my bed. I sleep on the floor, and I actually got a nice pretty floor mat to sleep on if I do ever sleep in my room ever again. And then I'm gonna put together some bookshelves, possibly for more books or movies, but also just to kind of put my sweatshirts and other things that need a shelf on. And then I can get my workout equipment in here. So excited. Hi guys, I'm Sydney. My middle name is Alexandria, and today I am going to be talking about how nobody has any clue what's going on. You're a soul living in a sack of meat right now on a giant rock floating through space. That's kind of how I see things. My first ever YouTube video that I posted, I filmed either the day I posted it or the day before, but I know I posted it like at midnight one day, almost 7 years ago, because I did it on the spring equinox. I was just so passionate. I feel like you guys probably already know the story. I tried filming my first YouTube video for over a year before I posted that one. I went through probably 100 or 200 retakes, multiple in a day. I wasn't trying to do it every single day, but I was probably trying to do it like every week or every month at least. I tried multiple different times until I got to the point where I was like, okay, just film one and post it and do it and put yourself out there and it'll be amazing. And it was. And that first video, you know, now it has like 1,000 or 2,000 whatever views on it. But at the time, it was like 100 or 200 people who watched it because I was like, I'm starting my channel, like, go watch it. So it was, you know, a big deal. I was just so incredibly passionate, as you guys can see, and I still am. I just have been doing it longer so that excitement doesn't always shine through. Every now and again, there's videos, and I add them to like my Sid's favorite playlist where I'm just like, I love this so much. I do love every video I post, but that enthusiasm doesn't always come through as much anymore. But in that first video, despite the ums and all of that, because I did not know how to edit videos for the longest time. Now I know how to edit videos, which has been so incredibly helpful, being able to edit out my pauses or my word slip-ups. But the pauses and ums and the word slip-ups in these first few videos, I just had to roll with it because that was the best take I had. That's also why it took me so long to film that first YouTube video, was because I would slip up on my words and I'd be like, okay, I need to refilm the whole entire, you know, 9, 10, however many minutes I'm trying to make it to get through my rant there. That first YouTube video, I go into how I'm gonna travel the world, how I want to explore the US in my car, and then maybe go to some islands, but definitely go to Southeast Asia. That was like the main thing on my other countries list that I wanted to do first. Still have yet to do that, but one day I'm hoping on it. Then we've got like my first video on a real subject, why I don't trust the government. The third video, ancient aliens. Fourth video, abduction and government cover-ups. Fifth video, the hybrid program. I mean, all of those, I just remember it taking me like all day to film them, trying to get good takes, and then you can see it getting like darker throughout the day, going into the night of just filming these videos all day. And now I do not take all day to film a video. That would be an extremely rare kind of situation. Episode 6, what happens after death, my theory of how the universe works. From what I remember, such a good video, still stands. I did do like an updated version of that video maybe 2 years ago and just kind of updated add-ons to that theory, but like I said, the theory stands, so I recommend checking that out. If you guys don't know what happens after death, I feel like pretty much everybody has their own theory, but it's come to my attention that a lot of people don't think about that. Then the 7th video, we get into Western astrology. It's my first tattoo reveal when I'm 17 years old. 8th video, numerology, featuring my dog. Then we've got Egyptian astrology. The Chinese astrology video was actually episode 10. That's what it's listed as on my YouTube. But on record, it's posted after episode 11, which is the Tibetan astrology video, and it was because there was technical difficulties posting this one. So I accidentally deleted the Chinese astrology video after it already had like 400 or 500 views or something from the week before. And so after I accidentally deleted it while posting the Tibetan astrology video, I immediately reposted the Chinese astrology video. But yeah, that really upset me when I accidentally deleted that video. Tibetan astrology, I think this is probably the one where my eyebrows are in fact the worst. And I also totally butcher the pronunciation of Tibetan. I think I called it Tibtan, which is super embarrassing, but sorry. I read so many articles, but I don't really think there was videos on it, or if there was, I guess I didn't listen to them because I was specifically searching for the astrology. If I realized that it was like the country Tibet, I could have searched that up and found a ton of videos on Tibet and Tibetan culture and stuff like that. But I just literally did not put 2 and 2 together that Tibetan astrology was related to Tibet. I don't know how I didn't, but my stoner brain just didn't. Cooking up some magic up there with the stoner brain, but that simple thing just did not click for some reason. Then we've got Mayan astrology, and then Native American astrology, and that was the first time that I broke out my tarot cards for a video because I did a little tarot reading for all the signs. I remember, and I literally say at the end of that video that I have to go to like my graduation ceremony or the practice for my high school graduation ceremony. It took me so long to do the video because I put so much like passion and effort into it. Then we've got the Celtic astrology video, also butchered pronunciation of Celtic. I called it Celtic, like with an S instead of with a K. It's spelled with a C, so I understand my little mishap there, and a lot of people back in the day called it Celtic. Now everybody knows it's Celtic, but at the time when I posted that video, in my defense, a lot of freaking people were calling it Celtic. My Vedic astrology video, I think I pronounced it like Vedic or something like that, which a lot of people butcher that one as well, but looking back, it's just cringy to me. But good info in all of those astrology videos. Then we've got like my first asteroid astrology video. I have more since then. Pineal gland video, man, all of these first few videos are just on such good subjects. Like now that we're at 360 whatever, we're talking about random cool things that I find great interest in. But obviously the first few videos I made on some of my favorite subjects, the most important, and those still remain my favorite subjects. Now we're getting into the off branches of all of them, right? Because we're definitely not running out of video topic ideas because I still have a huge, incredibly long list. But it is just a fact that like the first few videos I have are on subjects that are so freaking cool and general and broad as well. Vibrational frequencies, how to get whatever you want, dimensions, binaural beats, what really happens when you sleep. These are just all amazing. Parallel lives, past lives explained. Those are probably a little like, wow, kind of out there. I feel like this is kind of when we get into sort of out there things, like ascension symptoms, episode 25, and then old soul, empath, shaman, lightworker, alchemist, those labels, star seeds in the event, that's a really out there thing. Oh, that's also when people were like gonna storm Area 51. Didn't really happen. The Amazon rainforest was burning during that time, probably September or October time frame, so I was posting witchy videos, intuition, psychic senses, 120 abilities. I remember that video took me a long time, and I remember listening back to that video like a year later. For some reason I listened back, I think, to all of my videos the past year but that one is like an hour long, so it took me a while to listen to it. Why I don't use Ouija boards, still relevant. I still don't use Ouija boards. That's probably an out there and witchy one put together. Cleansing a home, how to saging a house. I saged my mom's house. I got her permission beforehand to film this YouTube video. It was like a whole big deal. I was posting on Snapchat like, is there somebody's house that I can sage before the making of this video? And then like my friend was gonna come over and stuff to my mom's house when she was out of town. I was like, but the thing is, I have to sage the house. I have to film this video first. You need to give me some time. The video is literally less than 8 minutes long. It's 7 minutes and 59 seconds, but I made it this whole huge big deal because this is still when I was posting every Wednesday religiously. We're back on that schedule now, finally. We got off the rails for a little bit because I had a baby and all of that, but now I'm like, I want to post every Wednesday to keep myself on track. The golden age of Aquarius, solar flares and awakening, back to the kind of out there things. Real versus fake spirituality. Somebody must have done and pissed me off for me to make that video, but it is true. How to live your best life, starting your journey. This is like right before I turned 18. And then my video turning 18 is just kind of sad for me to watch those ones. Like those three, the episode 35, 36, and 37 were filmed in my car. All of my other videos were filmed on my back patio apart from the saging a house video because I saged my mom's house. But yeah, those were the first 3 videos I filmed in my car. I love filming in my car just to kind of switch things up because it's closer to outside since I can't always film on my dad's back patio anymore. But yeah, the reason why I was in my car for all of those was just because I was going through some rebellious shit back then. And then episode 38, right after I turned 18, I was like, now I can talk about relationships because I'm an adult. Probably good info, like how to have happy and healthy bonds. I do think I am really knowledgeable in that area, but it is kind of funny to me how I turned 18 and I was like, now I can talk about this. And I filmed it in the place I was living during that time. I did how all of the, fire, earth, air, and water signs handle relationships. And then episode 43, I posted a almost 3 hour, it's 2 hour and 40 minutes long video of learning astrology from examples. Literally just planets and zodiac signs though. I didn't get into the houses in that video. So to be honest, it's just a lot of brutally honest opinions about the people I know, the examples that I'm using in this chart, literally just about planets and zodiac signs, not about the houses. And it's pretty much just about these people that I'm thinking of about these zodiac signs, so it is really cringy to watch. Can you learn astrology from this video? Sure, beginners can learn astrology from this video, but to me now, it is like, wowzers, Sid, but okay then. Episode 44, you know your body best, intuitive nutritional cravings. This is when stuff had like started to go downhill where I was living, literally just a couple weeks after moving there, because I only filmed 6 videos there, so that's a month and a half. At this point, I know that stuff is not great with my living situation because I filmed that video at my mom's house. The next video, stargazing, I downloaded all of these apps on my phone. I explain it in the video too, and I still have some of the apps. I spent money on these apps for that video just to kind of review astronomy and astrology apps. And I put a lot of effort into that video, took notes on what I liked and what I didn't like about certain apps. I don't know how good my rundown and review of all the apps are. I haven't watched that video in a long time, but I am back at the place I was living in Flushing, Flint, Michigan in that video. The next video, doing what's best for you, overcoming empath selfishness. And I later put as the thumbnail because at this point I still didn't know how to make thumbnails when I posted the videos. I went back a year or 2 after that and made thumbnails for all of these videos. It took me a long time to do it, but I put, like on airplanes, they tell you if something happens, everyone needs oxygen, to put the oxygen mask on yourself first and then you can help other people. And I put that as the thumbnail for that video. Clearly I was going through stuff. I was looking for a place closer to my hometown to live in. I filmed that video at my mom's house. And then the next video, I'm back at the place I was living in, and I'm talking 2 minutes about draconic astrology. I called it draconic. That video was my most viewed video on YouTube for the longest time. I think a couple other videos have surpassed it a bit, but it's got like over 2,000 views on that one. And it was literally just 2 minutes of saying to check out draconic astrology. No info exactly on what it is. I had put in the description of that video when I posted it that draconic astrology takes your north node and puts it at 0 degrees Aries, shifting your chart according to that. I put that into the description of this video. My earlier videos, it's important to look at the description. There's really good and sometimes essential information in that description, because this is before I knew how to edit videos well enough to insert stuff in and things like this. Still did not know how to do that at this time, so the description was really important. I put that in the description, but I got a lot of hate for saying in the video that it basically takes your rising sign and makes it your sun sign. I didn't mean that literally. I don't know if I said like not always, but I've found this so far looking at, you know, the few draconic charts I've looked at that time. It was less than 50 when I made that video. That's just an example of probably the worst video I ever made, but it got literally the most views for years until finally other videos did. But I was also back at the place I was living in for that video. And then I talk about compatibility astrology, which is literally just a fun, unique topic. It's not synastry. It's like this other thing that I don't want to say is not real astrology, because astrology is literally just continuously being discovered. But yeah, things were going a bit better where I was living during that time, at least seemingly it was getting better. What's in your water? That was such a cool video to make. It was really like depressing calling these water bottle companies and not getting real answers, but trying for the research, for the science, for the health. I tried. Episode 50, my first ever Q&A. Like, I'm at the place I was living right after I turned 18. I'm on this raggedy ass couch filming it. I just seem like so young and naive looking back at it at that time, because now we're getting into these videos of, it's really recently after I started YouTube, just under a year later, that I'm going through all of this crap as I'm turning 18 and freshly 18 and living in this bad place, in this bad situation. So all of these videos during this time frame are kind of hard for me to watch. Then we've got COVID-19, episode 51, the truth about the coronavirus. When COVID first came out, I was like kind of worried about it because I had connections in Asia. Ryan Matta, who I was working for at the time, he had like all of his suppliers for the various companies that he ran in Asia, in China specifically. So he had people boots on the ground in that area who were telling him like, this is freaking bad. But whatever hit the US was not so bad like that, in my opinion. I was worried when nobody else was worried, and then when everybody else was worried, I was not worried, because I realized it's not the same terrible thing that happened in this area that Ryan was familiar with because of people he worked with. Anyways, the next video, episode 52, I announced that I was pregnant, and it was my like 2020 astrological new year video. For a couple years I did a video on like the rundown of that year. I think all of 2020 I did a video every month starting with April, so April through December, like starting with the astrological new year. I did a video every month on like the astrological rundown and a tarot reading, classic kind of YouTuber style. Not hating on that, because like I said, I literally did it, but I did it when I was 18 and I don't do that anymore. If I feel called to do it, maybe I'll do it again. But yeah, that video, it's not in any of my playlists on purpose, just because it's so like, Sydney, what are you doing? And that also marks the first video of no makeup. That means no terrible eyebrows like I used to have. The first 51 episodes of my YouTube channel, my eyebrows were atrocious. And then episode 52 through whenever I put makeup on again, they're not bad. But ever since I do start putting makeup on again, I never touch my eyebrows. Ever since I found out I was pregnant, I have never put makeup on my eyebrows, and I don't think I ever will again. Because I learned my damn lesson when I was 17 years old. I didn't realize how bad it was until after the fact, but now I know. I was in fact eyebrow blind. Anyways, episode 53, we get into my hybrid reptilian son and baby daddy, because after I found out I was pregnant with a human baby, I was like, we need to talk about these hybrid children first, because this is what sparks the whole YouTube channel. My 5th video on YouTube was about the hybrid children, but I didn't talk about my own experiences yet, so I did in this video. And then the next video, episode 54, we talk about hybrid daughter, ET baby mama. The reptilian one got way more views, like to almost 3,000 views. The non-reptilian one, the like Pleiadian Zeta one, got 600 views. So I was kind of a little disappointed that the reptilian one got so many more views, but it's probably just because of that word that was involved in it, because both of the stories are equally fascinating in my opinion. So that's just kind of my take on it. This whole year of 2020, every once in a while, like there's a video for the next month, and then there's 1, 2, or 3 like videos on other subjects. So then we get into why everything is so complicatedly simple. I love that one. I filmed that one in my car. Growing or getting local, like the benefits of gardening, love that video. Don't like the situation I was in when I filmed it, but I had some good videos during this time too. Whatever you give yourself to, you shall receive, soul themes. This is during like a pretty good patch of COVID and pregnancy and all that. And then I started making chakra videos. So I did a video on root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakra. And I did that all in between like some of the pick a card, pick a pile / astrological readings for those months too. All of those videos, the background of my videos, my outfits, and my lack of hair and makeup look whack, but the information in the videos are pretty good if you can get past what it looks like on the video. Those might be some of the most cringiest just to see, because I was like, I do not care what I look like. I do not care about my appearance at all. I am Sid. I am this like guru sharing this information on YouTube. It doesn't matter that my wall has like holes in it filled with caulk in the background. In the crown chakra video, I have like a towel on my head because I just got out of the shower. Just absolutely wild to me. Seems like a totally different person in those videos, but the information is good. I will give myself that. I don't know if I butchered the word chakra and called it chakra or not, but pretty much everyone calls it chakra. Really, it's chakra. This was also during the time when I was moving from Flushing to Flint, still in a terrible situation, moving from one bad location to another bad location. So that's also why it's cringe for me to watch those. Meet my fur fam video. This video is also not in any playlist for a reason. It's still up on my videos, but yeah, that's a tough one to watch. No longer relevant. The old system will collapse. The younger generation does not want to work. That is a good video. The 144,000 is bullshit. That's a good video. I got a bunch of hate and a bunch of love in Facebook groups for like that whole topic. I made a Facebook post about it, and then I made a YouTube video about it, or vice versa, something like that. And it's just the fact that we're all chosen ones. Like there's not a select few that are chosen ones. Maybe there's a certain number of people who are meant to help awaken other people, but I feel like that is on a spectrum. I don't feel like it's you're a chosen one and you're not. You're meant to awaken people and you're not. That just seems like a bunch of bull crap to me, because everything is on a spectrum. You chose to come to Earth. We all have free will. That's a good one. We knew the instant I got pregnant. That is a true story. That is a weird video to watch. Now looking back, a weird video to make. What is a starseed? I just look so cringe during this time when I was pregnant, filming this in my backyard, but I bet you the information in the video is good. Oh geez, LGBTQ, pan, poly, and open relationships from a spiritual perspective. I don't regret any video that I've made. If I did, that one would be in the top 3 that I do regret making, because my opinion on the subject hasn't completely changed, but there's another layer, a very important layer added to it that seems like a different perspective. It's really just a different layer. So I don't want to say any of that information is completely false in that video, but I feel like it's missing some very crucial information in the fact that, yeah, now I do believe that you are in this body for a reason that goes back to you chose how you came here. And I think I acknowledged that in that video as well. But also, like, I don't really think you're meant to change your body that much. Like, I think you want to, your soul wants to go through this incarnation in this body. I think your soul wants to find a partner of the opposite sex so that those energies mesh together in that way. Do you have connections, possibly romantic connections with people of the same sex? Do you have connections with these other, you know, like male female archetypal energies within yourself? Of freaking course. That's why it's literally all on a spectrum. That's why I understood that at that time, and I still do understand it, and I see that layer. But also, there's a different layer to it too. Maybe we'll talk about it more in the future. I don't want to get too into it in this video, but just know that I have another layer of thoughts to that subject. Then it's October again, so I'm posting videos like why October feels so witchy, tips for connecting with your baby, because I was really trying hard to do that throughout my whole pregnancy. But at that point, my belly was huge, so I was like, let's make this video before I give birth. I filmed it in my car in the dark, so that's kind of sad, but it was a neat video to make. Then I posted an intro to tarot, major arcana, minor arcana. Those are some really good videos. The quality of the actual video is not great, but the information is really great, and I actually look back on that major arcana, minor arcana video sometimes to refresh my mind on certain tarot card meanings. I always recommend that you get into it yourself and you explore your deck yourself and all that and find your own meanings, because that is the most important part in my opinion. Then super pregnant, I talk about how to have an amazing gender reveal, which I don't really think it should be that big of a deal, to be honest, but this is like a new thing people do, gender reveals. So I said how to on a budget COVID gender reveal, and then the next video was how to on a budget COVID baby shower. Just kind of cringy to me now, but maybe some of that info is good for some people. I feel like now I prioritize what companies I'm giving money to more. I prioritize healthy, non-toxic ingredients more. So I bet you a lot of those tips are no longer relevant. Maybe don't go to the dollar store if you don't have to. Like, research good brands first. And a lot of those good brands you can't find in stores, to be honest. You should go to their actual website so that you don't have to give Bezos or somebody money. Just order from the source when you can. But if you're on a budget, go to the freaking dollar store and you can find some good shit there. Also, in this gender reveal and baby shower video, those were right after I finally moved back into my mom's house, like for good, to have my son. Mind you, this was literally right before I had him. All those tarot videos were still at that place in Flint that was not good. Finally, right before I had my son, I'm filming videos in my house again. Then episode 88. This is the first video I filmed after having my baby. The December pick a pile and forecast. That was the last like monthly forecast I did. And then the next video after that one is the feminine moon cycle, because at that time I was on the super long lasting period after you have a baby. Then learning and helping others learn, like a message from spirit. That was a neat video. Become immune to the Rona, how to not get sick. And then the next video is like wellness shots. I was going through a healthy kick there. I did a video on the first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. I talked about what crazy stuff was going on in the world during each of those times for me. And I talked about like how I was feeling during my pregnancy during each of those 3 stages. Then episode 96, 97, 98, 99. I love those videos. Every once in a while I go through like a really good fire period of like posting videos. So like the essential oil video, Benny and Barney Hill abduction video, the history and intro to palmistry. Those 3 videos were so badass. Like, the info is so good. I think my phone wasn't working that great during like the essential oils video. Betty and Barney Hill, it took me like 2 different days to film it, but the info was so good and I spent lots of time researching it. And my labor and delivery story, probably cringe to watch, but you know, good interesting video. Then episode 100, my second Q&A, filmed that one in my basement for some reason. I'm sipping on a smoothie because I used to drink smoothies every single morning. Then we've got like your thoughts radiate, water manifestation. That was the first time I curled my hair since having my son. I had straightened it for a couple YouTube videos prior, but that was the first time I curled my hair in like so long. And I also put on that Isis goddess necklace, which is so badass. I should throw that on more often. I should have put it on for this video. Oh well. I wore that a lot when I first started YouTube because I just wore that necklace in general a lot when I was 17. So you know, when I have the Isis necklace on, like I'm really trying to make it a good video. Then we've got like the Dr. Emoto human consciousness changes molecular structure of water video. Awesome one. I did an astrological forecast for the 2021 astrological year, so like the spring equinox onward. It was either that video or the next video, the one on lunar, solar, and lunisolar calendars, which I was really proud of that video too. One of those two videos was the first one where I learned how to make thumbnails, and I also learned, I don't know, at some point around here, maybe it's a little bit later, how to put text on videos, like in the actual video, because for the longest time I didn't know how to do that. Then I made a video about my Etsy shop, my Patreon, etc. I don't have either of those anymore, so I think that's why I literally put in the title, like, always email me to check this video's relevance, because it's not so relevant anymore. Then I did a video, I didn't wear makeup for over a year, true story, and so I finally put it on for the first time in that video. I felt like an absolute freaking clown. I still didn't wear makeup that much after that video, but I just wanted to like try it out to make sure that I still knew how to do it, even though it's literally just mascara and skin makeup under the eyes so they don't look so dark from being tired. Becoming eco-friendly, because this is when I got more into that. Updated extra asteroids and astrology video, the science behind crystals, that's an awesome quick video. Angel numbers, I loved that like thumbnail. Some of these thumbnails that I made are just like so chef's kiss. Aspects in astrology, greenwashing. So during this time, the springtime, I'm into the eco-friendly stuff, I'm into the astrology stuff, numerology stuff. I always revisit that in the spring for some reason. Why you need covers / a blanket to sleep. Giants are real and I can prove it. I should do more videos on this because that one was only 3 minutes. Another numerology video about your address, phone number, social security number, etc. I went to an alternative high school. That was a good like story time video. I don't remember everything that I talked about in that video. I remember my hair looked crazy like a lion in that video, but yeah, those were some good times. A video on the mucus plug that is in the pregnancy and parenting playlist. If you don't know what that is and you're pregnant, go watch that video. If you're not pregnant, probably don't watch that video. When to do what according to the moon. This is also right before or possibly during the time when I started like questioning the moon and the kind of weird fishy feelings when it comes to that. But also I do think there's benefits to living your life kind of based off of the phases, especially if you're a girl and you have a menstrual cycle. Talk to nature, deacons into wads. This other like lines of the hand palmistry video I have, I cannot freaking believe I wore that outfit in the video. I had like just gotten back from the beach or playing with my son outside or something in the summer. The difference between tarot, astrology, and palmistry, literally the next video I have. I also am wearing a very questionable outfit. My hair is like a questionable style, even in like the Lionsgate video I did, episode 124. I have like my hair in a ponytail, but braids in the ponytail. Mounts of the hand, connect to Sirius. That connecting to Sirius video, it's literally a minute long. Such a good video. Regulus, good one. The psychic crypto prediction video, that is one of my most viewed videos on YouTube. That's got like over 3,000 views. And I say in the video, I literally don't know anything about cryptocurrency. I just used to work for Ryan Matta, so that's how I know some of the names back a few years ago. I don't know any of the new coin names. I don't freaking know, but I had this like vision in the shower, so I made a YouTube video about it. I explained that in the video, like super spur of the moment, and another example of how one of my least favorite videos gets the most amount of views. Prophetic warning dream, that's a really good video. Why don't aliens just land? That's a really good video. Power of planning, try doing this before you drive. And then like a little bit after I made that video, I get into a car accident, but it was all good. Soulmates versus twin flames. I filmed this video in my brother's car because I wanted to like switch up the scenery. and that's a good video. It's kind of me rambling, but I do like that one. Ancestors, the mathematical pattern within us all. I used to recite this mathematical pattern as a kid, and I made a video off of it because I realized that it's like the ancestors and generational math and kind of pattern equation that way. Planetary returns and how the US is going through its first ever Pluto return. That's a good video. Copper pendulum and dowsing rods. I don't know if this is my most viewed video or like one of them, but this has over 4,000 views. I was so freaked out by the pendulum and the copper rods when I first got them, but I even said in that video like it is the best purchase I ever made, and that's probably true because they're a really freaking handy tool if you don't have a copper dowsing rod set or pendulum and you are into divination. I would recommend it. I think the dowsing rods freaked me out at first because they're just so big. It's less intimidating when you just have a pendulum in one of your hands, but now it doesn't freak me out at all because I know it's me and my higher self and only the best intentions of spirit guides helping me with that. But really it's my higher self, I believe. I don't believe I connect with anything else besides that unless it goes through that. It must be like fall time now because then I have a video on scrying. Then I took a little break, got behind on videos, got a new phone, and then I talk about divine masculine feminine energy, how to recycle, free bleeding. That seemed like it must have been a long break because at this point it's like the springtime because I can just tell from how my room looks. It's around the equinox. Quick quiz. That video is kind of cringe, but I think it is like a little cutesy video. I don't want to spoil what it is. That's why I can't even put it in the title of the video because the whole point of this quick little quiz, like you can't know beforehand what the subject is or else the quiz won't work, but it's literally just like 3 questions. It's 3 minutes long. My friend told me and I was just like, I want to make a video on this because that's so cool. It's like a little personality test kind of. Then we've got deja vu. I made that video because I remember watching, I think it was that Zac Efron show, like Down to Earth, and I got such bad deja vu, or not such bad, but such like major deja vu from it. Dream analysis, how to interpret your dreams. That's the video I made first, immediately after the car accident I got into. Because remember I said I made a video on do this when you're driving to stay safe? And shortly after I got into a car accident, now is when I got into the car accident. I literally went to my dad's house after, filmed that video on the back patio, literally right after getting into a car crash. And the next video I make is over a half-hour long. It's about how the awakening never ends. I have a lot to talk about. I talked about like the soul star chakra, the vagus nerve, etc. Then I did a video on something that I had mentioned in multiple past different YouTube videos, going outside, looking at the stars before you know them, going inside, meditating on it, and then the next day going out with the app on your phone to see what the star is. And then you research online and see what other people say about it. But you have to do it yourself first if you want that true, authentic, without any other interference, what you feel for those stars. Then we have the shape of the earth video. That's a good video. Karmic relationships. That's a good video. 3 main housing systems in astrology, and in the thumbnail, it's not a perfect circle that I cut out for this like astrology chart. I tried so hard to go with my finger very carefully and cut out a circle before I knew that you could just cut one out like that. So you can still see the progression of my thumbnail technology and video editing technology. I know it's not that high tech even now, but I just think it's kind of interesting. 3 main types of astrology. That's a good one too, like the housing system and the 3 main types of astrology. I can't believe I wore that freaking shirt in the 3 main housing systems. A little much, or I guess a little not enough, but anyways. My third Q&A, I love that outfit I wore in that video. What trauma does to us, that's a good video. Why everyone is so romantically obsessed with you, that's a good video. I did a baby bump progression, like 2020 throwback of when I was pregnant. So that's like a cute little video, but it is hard for me to watch because a lot of those weeks I am like in a terrible housing situation. But at the end there, you can see I'm back in my house and I'm happy. Channeled message, literally 23-second long video, but it's a good one. Things that made me cry while reading The Prism of Lyra, that is an amazing video. Physical rebirthing exercise, I did this right before I started my YouTube channel. This was during this super meditative day that I like rebirthed myself, and I talk about it in this video. amazing. Then I have a 8-hour long meditation. The first maybe 20 something minutes is of me talking, like a guided journey to relaxation in your higher self, and the whole rest of the video is just a loop of me playing my little panda drum and maybe a little other thing that makes a pretty noise that you can just sleep to, because it's not binaural beats, just a loop of me playing a cool little tune for 8 hours to sleep to, because I thought that was cool. But yeah, that meditation during the beginning could be really powerful if you're somebody who's able to do those YouTube meditations. Your feelings correspond to your mother's pregnancy with you. That's a good video. And then there's 2 videos of me and Vox Paranormal collaborating. One's like 19 minutes long, one's 11 minutes long. And those are some great videos. I haven't watched them back in a long time. I don't really remember what we talk about, but I'm sure it's some good stuff. Water and rice experiment. I did that experiment for a while, so I put effort into that video. It didn't go exactly as planned, but I do think that the information is really useful and it's different than what other people find while doing this experiment, because I did it slightly different. And a reincarnation story, Dorothy Eady, that's an amazing video. I think this is another period where I go through posting some really badass videos, because the next one is divisional charts. Now I know how to get the circle cut out properly. Nakshatras, organized to manifest, the power of sex, karmic ties, 25 signs of ET abduction, that's the other good video. What I learned, 1.5 years of cloth diapering, a realization, telepathy and empathy. I think that was right before or right after my brother's high school graduation, because I was wearing that outfit there. Math, was it discovered or created? Landfill sewer narrative, how to be happy, the 20 keys to happiness. That is a good video. Soul genetics and human genetics. This is one of the top videos that I send to clients if I feel intuitively called to put YouTube video links in like their little "it was nice talking to you" email. Galactic astrology, fixed star aspects. I made that video before I knew that you could click a button for it to input all of the information. So in that video I spend about 7 minutes like manually inputting degrees and minutes of where planets are in a chart. Now I know that you can literally just hit a button, but everything else I say still stands, that it's an awesome website that Julia created. Where to live or travel according to astrology. I forgot I made that video on astrocartography. Untranslatable words for love, random cool little video. Vulpecula starseed. I remember editing this video while I was in New York at a hotel visiting my family in New York. But I love Vulpecula, so that's cool that that was kind of the first star race that I made a video on. Then I made one on rogue Pleiadians. That's a good video. Trees are intelligent beings, talking about the mycelium and the root fungus. That's such a good video. Humanity's destiny. This is another really powerful one that I knew while I was filming it that it was really powerful. It's another common one that I send to people, but I probably send the soul genetics versus human genetics more. Why I sleep on the floor, in case you guys are wondering why the heck I sleep on the floor. Like I mentioned, I finally got rid of my bed. I made a video on it 3 years ago. Astral experience in Mount Shasta. One of the most amazing videos I've made, probably. Low waste living. I hate the fact that a lot of brands that I said were good brands at the time are no longer good brands because they got bought out. Like Native got bought out by P&G. I'm not gonna buy from them anymore. There's probably some other ones in there that later, after filming that video, I found that they got bought out by mega corporations, or they actually are using toxic ingredients. So that goes back into the whole greenwashing thing. So this is why I don't like recommending certain products or brands anymore, because of the fact that over time it changes. Like in my free bleeding video, I think I recommended Thinks period underwear. They had been found to have toxic chemicals in there, so that's no longer relevant. I use Cora currently. I don't know if by the time you guys are watching this video that Cora is still gonna be good or not, but anyways. Then I made a video on types of spirits. That's a good video. How is Lyra? The call to rebuild Lyra. I send this video to clients a lot too. Must be October again, because then we have a video on Astrodice, how to use playing cards as tarot cards, prophetic dream about crossing timelines that I had. I love making videos about unusual, cool dreams that I have. There's a few, and if you're interested in those, they're in my sleep and dreams playlist, but I really like making videos like that. Archetypal energies, this is a super important video I made. This is one of my favorites. It's probably in the Sid's favorite playlist. Wearing everything I own once before I wear it again. It took me 190 days to do that challenge, so it took me, you know, like half of a year to film that video. And a lot of those outfits I don't like, and I have some new ones. Maybe I should do that challenge again, just kind of for myself. Maybe I could film it. But it was just inspired to declutter. Like, if you can't wear the outfit fully for a day, get rid of it. Or if you put it on and you don't like it, get rid of it. Mirror neurons, that's a cool video. My thoughts on turning 21. It's just wild to see the difference of like my energy from just mentally where I was at that point in my life, turning 18 to turning 21. And it's funny because turning 21 wasn't like a usual turning 21. I talked about like how I don't drink or smoke anymore in my turning 21 video, whereas most people, it's like, I'm turning 21, let's go to the bar, you guys. Then I made a video on the truth about birth control. That's a good video. And then that's when Kevin posted the International Spiritual News Network, the More Show video that I was on. So I posted it to my channel too. The video on my channel got like almost 300 views. The video on Kevin's channel got, I don't know how many thousands of views. I haven't checked it in a while because that was 3 years ago now. And I talk about empowering yourself, how it's not selfish or egotistical, because after that video got posted, I got hundreds of emails, super long wait list, and I don't have any regrets, but if I did have a regret, it would probably be not quitting my day job and letting those hundreds of clients like slip through palms of my hands because I didn't get to them in time, because it took me way longer than I thought to do readings. I thought I could do one a day typed up. I could not. And I love video chatting for readings instead. So that was just unfortunate, but I know since I did it once, I can do it again once I'm ready, and I can get my wait list back up and I can get people booked. Right now, I feel like I'm just, you know, catching up on my YouTube channel, which I am now, so now I can finish writing my book, which I've been trying to do. It's just a shortage of time. Then we've got some good ones. We've got like how stars are angels, infusing food, why people bless their food, the unconscious mind, when the new year actually is, my 4th Q&A. This is when I went to some websites and got like the free pictures you can use, no copyright on the pictures, to put them in this Q&A video. And it seemed like a lot of effort for not that cool of a result, but I learned how to do it. So here I am again learning valuable video editing skills. And then I collabed episode 201, the Lightworker Community Podcast. That's such a good episode. It's like 2 hours long because me and Joe just keep talking. Symmetrical angel numbers, the mirroring angel numbers, the whole video. I can't think of the word symmetrical. It's always hard for me to think of the word symmetrical, but it's like one of my most favorite things in the world. So that's so weird that I always have a brain fart when thinking of that word. I always think it's like synchronistic or something, but no, it's symmetrical. My birthday is 11/22/2001. I like symmetrical things. Then I talk about feeling stuck or on the verge of a breakthrough. That's a good video, especially if you're going through some funk. Over 2-year breastfeeding journey video. Trump and Biden past life galactic astrology intuitive Akashic record reading video. That is a cool deep dive. I think there's also layers to it, but this was literally just interpreting their charts. If you have certain aspects to Thuban in your chart, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. If you have certain aspects to the Orion Nebula, etc., it doesn't mean that you're an amazing person. But that is kind of how I was intuitively reading it during that time. A lot of that information is really, really good. I would like to think it's not biased, but I haven't watched the video in a while, so I can't really accurately say if it's totally unbiased or not. Trauma effects on pain management and future relationships. That's a good video. The Akashic Records, more like a computer program than a book. That's a really good video. Good analogy for understanding the records. God is the Akashic Records. Awesome video. Stargates are like portals. This is one of the top videos that I send my clients as well, about Arcturus and Antares, unlearning to learn, deprogramming the norm, generations changing drastically, losing traditions because of advancements. That's a good video. Mistaken for Pleiadian, I send this video to people sometimes too. Words are spells. That's an awesome one. The power of intention, a really important follow-up to the words are spells because intention overpowers all else. Humans are animals and we suck at being animals. That's a fun little one. Protection, visualization. This is a follow-up to the like do this before you drive your car, like envision yourself as gold. The protection visualization is another layer to that, literally, to protect yourself so that people don't see your gold unless they are worthy of seeing your gold. Worship the sun, Andromedan transmission while holding up a hybrid children symbol. I think that's about how like we're already in the event. We just kind of have to do it. Layers of learning. That's a good video. I should rewatch that one. I don't know why, but it just seems relevant right now. Soul family, collective consciousnesses. That's a good one. Sometimes I send that one to people. Spirits can watch you poop and do other things because that's so important to hear. No, I do think it is kind of an important concept, especially for people who don't understand crossed over loved ones, etc. Like, yeah, they can see you do that stuff, but they're so evolved, they do not care. It does not matter to them, and it's not creepy either. How I calm myself down as a child and also now still as an adult, that is an incredible visualization, explanation. Earth chakra points, light workers spread out to help awaken. Stuck in time, which was story time, like dreams that I had, and how it was a lot like this show that I had seen after having some of the dreams and probably before some of the other dreams. But I had some of these dreams before I watched this show too, so just kind of tying that together. Overthrowing corruption, self-sufficiency over corrupt corporations. I made a video a few weeks ago on boycotting. It's kind of the same energy, just years later. Voyage of the Dawn Treader, how this law of attraction was in the Narnia movie. Fixed star algol. This is one of my favorite videos I've ever made. It's one of the videos I'm most proud of because I channeled this information about this star that really nobody else talks about, and then I come to find out after doing research that scientifically the star goes through these phases in its life. It pulsates, the color changes, and it really just backed up what my intuition was feeling about what was going on with the beings around that star. And it's a lot kind of like the 100 in season 6, where they're on this planet where there's eclipses and they kind of go crazy. Then I made a video on the government fear agenda because this was right after one of the UFO UAP hearings 2 years ago in the summer, episode 229. Then episode 230 I posted right before Lionsgate that year, and it's of one of my old friends, how I did a qhht session for him years ago, and then we got together, collaborated so he could kind of give his input on that story. Then I made a video right after I got done filming that one with him. I went and I filmed this one in my car, a precognition dream. When I was in 4th grade, I had a dream that was literally all about what happened the next day. Like, I knew what time a girl in my gym class was gonna get down and tie her shoe. It was really creepy, and I haven't had anything like that happen since. I've just had interesting dreams since, but no precognition ones like that. Then we get into a phase of badass YouTube videos because I did wild weather, I did crystals want to stay in the earth, a message from crystals, body swap, shapeshifters, walk-in souls, reptilians, and Andromedans working together on this small program, survival gear haul, bug out bags, astrology for beginners, develop your intuition. I love all of those thumbnails and those videos so much. Cross spirits over into the light, ghosts, and then another badass one, the follow-up of my theory of the universe, but this is like heaven and hell and reincarnation, before the light versus in the light, like pre-hell. And then we have the science behind tarot, and it's also just kind of my oracle card haul and alternatives. Fun fact, I forgot that I showed all of my tarot cards and oracle cards in that video, and I think I filmed a video on all of my cards, and then when I was watching it back, I was like, wait, I did this last year. In the science behind tarot video, it just wasn't all of the science behind tarot, it was also a card haul. And I was like, shoot, I'm not doing this again that soon. So I deleted it and filmed something else. And then I think I had a small break in YouTube videos, and then I came back with my world peace video, combating wars with peace. I forget what exactly was happening in the world 2 years ago, but it just seemed very relevant, and I think other people were talking about like meditating for peace, or if they weren't, they should have been. And that's also when my room got painted from the gray color to this light purple lavenderish color. And then I had a video on a dream I had about dolphins, etc. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. One of my like favorite moments from life, but it was a dream and not real life. Quick little video on infinity, birthday hoax, like aging spell ritual, that's a good video. Microplastics, the issue and how to prevent it, that's a good video. Ancestry DNA test, still can't believe I ever did that, but I did, so I made a video about it. Kids understand death. The first death, why Lyra was so traumatic. I often send this video to clients too. Then we've got my 5th Q&A, course info. That is still relevant to the fact that like I have these courses. It's just they are pre-recorded courses now, and it's not the video chat Zoom courses. It's the pre-recorded versions of those. I do want to refilm them in the future, but yeah, I was super excited to start that before spring happened 2 years ago, 2024. That was an awesome, very creative year for me. Then I did a video on my birth chart, why I started believing in aliens, and then another prepper video. If you can plan a wedding, then you can prepare for a natural disaster. Words of wisdom. I almost just said duck, duck, goose. Duck, goose, swan. Swim in water, fly in air, walk on land. How some of these birds are truly amazing, coming from a person who, my favorite animal is not birds. But after like having my son and explaining to him that yeah, they can fly, they can swim, they can walk, I'm like, whoa, those are amazing creatures. How is there not cultures that worship these animals? Anyways, then I have the spectrum of forgetfulness. I should send this to more clients because that's actually a very useful one. Why certain things keep happening to you. Loved ones alive can still send messages to you like astral guides. People often think that, you know, deceased loved ones are our spirit guides, but also living loved ones are our spirit guides too in like the astral realm. Then this is an awesome video, Illuminati initiation. It's not selling a soul, it's selling a body, etc. Like clones, celebrities, rituals, boost ET contact, be comfortable with bugs, ACDC, MCIC in astrology, potty training, because my son just kind of naturally got potty trained super young, so I wanted to kind of share my experience, but I understand that it might not be that easy for everybody. A video on karma, the North Star, Polaris, Vega, Thuban, the churches of Lyra. I often send this video to clients. You choose what you look like. I talked a bit about my eyebrows and other important factors in this YouTube video. Man or bear dream, my subconscious take on that whole debate that we had a few years ago. Andromeda and Milky Way galaxy merge. I often send this video to clients. Spiritual meaning of draconic astrology. I needed to do a draconic astrology follow-up after that one video got thousands of views. This video only got 150 views, but hey, I did another video on it. I improved it. This one is only 3 minutes because it really only needs to be 3 minutes. If you're familiar with Western and Vedic concepts, you don't need a whole deep dive into how to use draconic astrology. You just need to know like what it is compared to those. And I talk about it before in the 3 different main types of astrology video I made that we already mentioned. Then I have a video on how stars could be Horcruxes, and if the earth is flat, and if space isn't real, how everything I believe still makes sense because they could be like Horcruxes. Harry Potter reference, if you understand that. We're tapping into the energy there. Even if it's not there, it's been programmed to be there, even if it's somewhere else on Earth, if that makes sense. If you watch that video, it should make sense. Body parts, wisdom teeth, placenta, etc. And as you guys probably know, I've posted more videos on this subject more recently. This video was a year, almost 2 years ago, but now I have more videos on all of that sketchy body part organ stuff. Then we have an oral hygiene routine. Since I have changed some things, added some things. I think I said in that video that I only brush my teeth 1 time a day, and that's not false. I mean, sometimes I brush them twice a day, but I have 2 different toothbrushes now. Like, I do have an electric toothbrush now, and I still use a wooden or a bamboo one, but I have 2 because I said you should only brush once a day, honestly, so that the bacteria has longer to come off your toothbrush. You don't want a damp toothbrush 12 hours later, you want it like 24 hours later. But if you have multiple toothbrushes, and I think I typed that on the screen, that's a good trick to use one in the morning and one at night if you want to use the wooden one at night and the electric one in the morning or something. There's also dental probiotics you can take. You can take the 2 different kinds of K2, you can take D3, you can spray magnesium mist on you. There's other good tips and tricks when it comes to oral hygiene, but that is a very good video still relevant information. We should all be tongue scraping, we should all be water flossing, etc. Then I did a video on Aquila. I often send this one to clients if it's relevant. Past life relationships video, how I got into astrology, eco-friendly with kids, conscious way to fish, hunt, forage, etc. Ask permission, that's a good one if it's relevant to you. Vulnerable while sleeping, subliminal messages and programming in your sleep. Past lives in astrology, like the 3 main things that I look at. Always shower happy, just like the power of water. Why certain star races are more popular, that's a quickie but a goodie. Energy field, that's a really good video. I almost did a spell to turn myself into a mermaid 10 years ago. I can't believe I posted that on YouTube, but it is a true story. Things a psychic told me years later, it makes sense. Re-listening to all of those sessions I had with a lady, 4 sessions, same lady in Rochester, New York. Carol, if you see this, hit me up. Percentage of energy, parallel incarnations, and like calling more of your soul's energy back to this body. That's a really good video if you don't quite understand parallel lives, or if you're someone who's just kind of has more common sense than other people and don't understand why other people aren't as commonly sensey smart as you, or if you're on the other end where you're like, I don't know how these people have so many different interests, that video might explain it. The same souls are doing it again. Corrupt governments, victims, freedom fighters, kind of like how Earth is Orion 2.0. 5 ways to figure out your past lives. I made a TikTok on this years ago, and then I made it just kind of extended and turned it into a YouTube video. That's a good one. How we hold on to past partners' DNA, kissing and sex, etc. That's a good video. Divine intervention, 2 life-changing moments that happened in my life. That is like a wow personal video, but I posted it. Pagan holidays, the 8 pagan holidays revolving around the equinoxes, the solstices, and then 2 new moons after those, the ones in between. Can a pendulum be wrong? Because after having my pendulum and dowsing rod video get so many views, I feel like I needed a follow-up and to just answer the question of how is it coming up with these answers. The answer to that is it's what you believe, so you have to go into it with an open mind, not knowing the answer. That's how it's accurate. Old jewelry, were my grandparents spiritual? That's a quickie and just kind of open-minded, who knows. The timing of tarot cards, the speed of all tarot cards, that's a good video. I often forget that I made that, but that's a good one. Elites use astrology, that's a good one. Should you tell your kids about Santa? Let's be neighbors. This is one of my favorite videos. This is often the video that I say any short that isn't really related to a YouTube video is related to, because I just want people to watch this video. Like, I want to have an off-grid hippie community. Mushroom Christmas. This is such an underrated video. I love this topic. Like, I want to still make little mushroom ornaments, but I feel like now at this point, lots of other people are doing it, but I don't even think they know the meaning of why they're doing it. Maybe they do, but yeah, it seems like a lot of work when people are already doing it, so I might not do it, but it's literally on my Instagram highlights. It's stated in this video and probably other videos that I want to make these ornaments. I haven't yet just because it seems really expensive. Anyways, we've got the history of tarot. That's a good video. Iris asymmetry, my eye astigmatism, question mark. I don't know what it's called, but the eye doctor literally said I have a 1 in a million eye disorder, so take with that what you will. 6 Q&A, how to charge your crystals in a crystal haul, because I had been getting that video recommendation for a while. 2025, the last president, Donald Trump, my kind of take on that. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, that's a good video. Sending hearts and smiley faces, and what Wolfgang told me, I love that video. It's less than 7 minutes long, and I highly recommend that one. Out of all my YouTube videos, that's probably the one that I recommend the most, just because literally anybody can use this technique. Just send smiley faces and hearts to people whenever you can. Pain in your life creates pain during your period. I forgot about that video. That's a good one. Glitch in the Matrix, this kind of story time of these messages I had with someone where it said it was in the future that I sent the message. It was really weird. Easy ways for spirits to communicate. Sound frequencies in the Magician's Nephew Narnia book, because if you guys can't tell, that's the second Narnia video I've made. I love that series. Animal pregnancy length, correlation to the soul commitment level of that incarnation. Weird specific subject, but amazing video. Animal menstrual cycles video, that was a good one. Star life cycle correlation, that was a good one. The dream of teeth falling out. Pleiadian qhht, love that video. Sirius qhht, Arcturus, those three are just so good. Birthday paradox, like, you know, so many people born on the same days, a scientifically proven thing with studies done. I survived backstage at the Honest Dave concert and Hash Bash without smoking, as somebody who used to be a stoner. Exaltation and debilitation in astrology, when to do what, astrology-based days of the week, possible homeschool schedule, sunglasses and sunscreen, why I don't use them. Remember when that thing was going around last year online, gingers being black people? So I kind of gave my little take on that. I don't remember what the take is, but it's in that video. Unconscious anxiety, dark night of the soul, kind of my teenage years story time. Planting with the moon phases, that's such a good video. The age of souls, how we're all the same age, but there's different layers to it. Constellations. This video has less than 100 views. A lot of my videos lately have less than 100 views, and they deserve more. I appreciate you guys so much for watching them. Certain videos, like the crypto video and the first Draconic astrology video I made, got all these views, and then my favorite videos are often the ones that are out here with like less than 100 views sometimes. Mayans ascending to Hydra, that's such a good one. Destruction of Bells, I put a lot of effort into the research behind that one. Connecting with your baby in the womb, Dakota Wint inspired that video for me. Spiritual significance of piercings. Since then, I've done another video on the history of piercings. Sexual health and wellness. I really want to speak at schools on this subject. Like, I really want to be a guest speaker. So I posted this video on YouTube. None of the schools I've contacted have contacted me back. I would love, love, love to do this. So if you know a health teacher or like a small high school or middle school, alternative high school possibly, you can tell them to play this video, or you can tell them to email me, sydalexandriaegypt@gmail.com, and I would love to video chat with the class if they're not, you know, in my local area, or if they are in my local area, I would love to come out and go in person and talk to the kids about this, because it's something that I know a lot about, I've researched a lot about, I've lived through it, and it's really important. Life is like a bicycle, Argo Navis constellation, domicile and detriment, zodiac signs, having hybrid children and focusing on yourself. This was episode 333, but episode 334 somehow got posted before it because of how I was premiering one or something like that. It got made weird. But yeah, this having hybrid children focusing on yourself video, that had been on my list of videos to make as episode 333 for the longest time. I have certain videos as certain numbered episodes for reasons connected with numerology. Every video I've ever posted, it's as a specifically numbered episode because of the numerology with it, some more than others. But yeah, then this trip to Washington and Oregon, that is probably a cool video to watch, especially if you want to visit there or if you live nearby and you want places to see. The 3 different Mayan calendar systems, I love that video. This is a period of badass videos again, because then we have Memories of Kemet, Ancient Egypt, Tau Ceti Rebuild, Starseed traits, and I had my Isis goddess necklace on Andromeda Galaxy. That's a good one. And then we've got astral traveling, astral projection. During the filming and posting of the Andromeda Galaxy video and the astral projection video, I had a crazy stalker girl messaging me, and that kind of sparked the Your Mood Matters Thoughts Create Reality video that I had posted next, episode 341, and it also sparked a few weeks later because I did the lucid dreaming, and then I had a wild lucid dream, so I did another video on that, swastika origin. The next video, the victim mindset, like stepping out of it, the gratitude will get you a lot further. That was also inspired from that crazy stalker girl experience. But yeah, the astral traveling, lucid dreaming, I asked what the purpose of dreaming is. Those are some awesome videos. And then the swastika history video, I did a lot of research on it. I love that symbol. It is not a hate symbol. It got appropriated to become a hate symbol, sadly. The significance of names. I feel like that's such an interesting subject. People named a certain thing have these traits and qualities, and I do really want to do other videos in the future on names, or maybe like go live on social media and tell people what I think of their names and kind of what the names represent and how certain spelling of names can change that slightly. And it goes back to gematria, which is basically numerology, but it's kind of the ancient tradition of that, how certain letters are corresponded to certain numbers, and those numbers can add up, you know, Pythagorean numerology, into a number that is similar to a life path. But gematria is basically a different study. It's not just modern Pythagorean numerology. It has these ancient roots to it. And I think people can see the expression of that truth without knowing its roots and how it is so. Anyways, masculine and feminine guys, girls' dating patterns, that was a weird one to make, but just kind of my take on that because it was relevant in my life at that time. Sati Sati, Saturn transit natal moon, a video all about that. Vimshodari dashas, because I had realized I hadn't made a video on dashas yet, and dashas are, I mean, I pull them up during every intuitive astrological reading I do now because I had seen so many correlations when I felt called to pull it up that they were about to enter a new period, or they did on that literal exact day when I pulled it up. So I started pulling them up every time now just to see, to do my own little research on if when you have a certain dasha and antardasha, you're going through good things or bad things or neutral things, or if you're getting married, having kids, etc. during certain periods of your life, if your parents are dying during certain periods of your life. I've seen some correlations, so I want to continue to get my own little research in on that. Then my 7th Q&A, I'm wearing this shirt in that video. This is one of my go-to long sleeve shirts if you guys haven't been able to tell already. Then we have agendas, Charlie and Erica Kirk, etc. Then we get into more of these body parts organ videos. So blood, foreskin, placenta, where does it go? Then I have a video where I'm literally doing the bird in the thumbnail because I was so pissed off, shadow government, and how it's really not as much in control as you'd think, because I think we all needed that little boost of motivation. You need to be producing, not just consuming. Important reminder. And we have circumcision rates worldwide, organ donors less likely to be saved. I have a video that has, maybe it has 1 million now on Instagram, on this little TikTok that I had posted months ago. I posted it to IG Reels. I posted on YouTube Shorts too, and I didn't get 1 million views on YouTube. It got probably like 100. But yeah, I did whole YouTube video long versions of this. Then we've got the history of piercings, we got marriage and children lines and palmistry, we've got a video on dream catchers inspired by Alex's mom's book that I read. Alex is Dead-Eye Two Tongues, by the way. We've got a video on channeling. I don't know what emotions exactly I was going through during that trauma bonds video, but it was right after I got this diamond tattooed on my ring knuckle as a symbol of I'm getting it for myself. I'm saving the other spots in case I want them in the future on this finger. But I was just reminiscing on the fact that, yeah, I was kind of messed up psychologically from falling in love young, and that's just what that video is about. And other things too, friendships, etc., because I've seen that secondhand and firsthand. Then we've got the boycotting video because the Epstein files had just been released, and I was like, We need to boycott, which is still extremely irrelevant. Just stop buying stuff from shitty corporations. Get the Buyer app on your phone that Ian Carroll made and see who owns the brands that you're buying from. And if it's a big mega corporation, probably stop buying from them and find an alternative. Friend and enemy Chinese zodiac signs. And I literally just posted Ba-zi chart video because I have gotten more into Chinese astrology because it's almost springtime and it's an astrology mood. But apparently this year I'm feeling called to get into other cultures' forms of astrology more, which I am all for. I feel like this wasn't really a reaction video, it was kind of a how I was feeling and what I think of all of these videos so far. This was kind of long, but if you stuck with me through it, thank you so much, because that means that you enjoy my thought process, so I appreciate you so much. I'm glad you guys found this entertaining. My other videos you hopefully will find educational. This one was more so on the thought process side of things, so you can better understand how I talk about things, why I talk about things, and what I talk about. Let me know if you guys have any video idea suggestions down in the comments below. And if you guys are interested in an intuitive astrological Akashic records reading, a qhht session, which is like past life regression, or just some spiritual counseling, email me, sydalexandriaegypt@gmail.com. Or if you want those playbacks of the courses that I made in 2024, you can email me if you would like the astrology course, the ET races course, or the intuition divinations course, or all of them. Just ask and I will email them to you. If you want to send me a donation, it's greatly appreciated, but if not, have at them. I don't care. I just don't want to overwhelm my YouTube feed with those when I'm already posting a video every week and like 3 shorts every 3 weeks. All right, peace out, you guys.